Hello and welcome to the College Fairs of Greater Denver. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Jenny and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, we have a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are turned off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Greater Denver. I'd now like to turn it over to our first presenter, the University of Pittsburgh.
Thank you so much. All right, let me share my screen and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us and hosting. I'm going to talk about everything Pitt in about 6 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. So this is part of our unscripted presentations, but rest assured, I'm going to try to cover as much as possible. So first of all, the University of Pittsburgh was established in 1787. It started out as a small cabin. We now have over 6 different freshman entry-level schools. We have master level programs, and we also have PhD programs. So all of our students can, if you want to pursue, a master's PhD level degree, you can stay here if you like. We've also had some great notable alumni. One of our greatest alumni, I would say, is Dr. Jonas Salk. He's right in the middle. He's the one that discovered the polio vaccine here at the University of Pittsburgh. So if research is what you're interested in, this is definitely the right place for it. We're a mid to large size institution with about 19,000 undergraduate students, and about 4,500 of them are entering freshmen. Pittsburgh was recently named the #2 most livable city in the US, and we have recently been named the #1 public institution in the Northeast. I do like to mention that we do have a Pride Index score of 5 out of 5. So we're a very welcoming environment as well. These are just some of the freshman entry-level schools that we have, about 6 of them. The Kenneth P. Dietrich School of Arts and Sciences, that's where we have over 100 different majors, minors, and certificate programs for our students to complete. They can customize their degree to what they really want. You don't really have to limit yourself. If you want pre-law, pre-med, or anything like that, physical therapy or pharmacy or anything like that, you will start off in the School of Arts and Sciences. The College of Business Administration, there's 7 different majors, such as global management, supply chain management, marketing, accounting, and many others as well. And they also offer certificate programs, including sports management. The Swanson School of Engineering, they have 10 different majors, minors, and certificate programs as well. Majors such as bioengineering, mechanical, electrical, chemical, and others as well. So students are able to customize their education to what they want. And they also offer co-ops. So co-ops are a year long, and one semester you're working, one semester you're going to school, but you're getting credit for that, and you're also getting paid for that. The School of Computer Information, one of our newest freshman entry-level schools. They have majors such as information science and computer science. The School of Nursing, one of our top schools, top 10 in the nation for undergraduate and graduate. Students that attend the School of Nursing, they are getting a BSN. And if you want, you can continue your education with a master's in nursing as well. And our newest level, freshman entry-level school, which is the School of Public Health. Due to their current pandemic and a lot of interest in public health, we just decided to start that this year. So we are also offering Pitt Honors. For our student Pitt Honors, if you get Pitt Honors, you get access to Pitt Honors housing, you get access to Pitt Honors scholarships, you get access to Pitt Honors advising, and also Pitt Honors research. So it's available to you at any time you're appointed at Pitt. So you can always apply for it. And you also get access to the Bachelor's in Philosophy, which is the #1 philosophy degree in the world. We also offer guaranteed admission programs for our students. So there's about 20 of them. If you meet the necessary prerequisites for any of our guarantees, then you are guaranteed a seat in the graduate level course. So feel free to, whenever you apply, select from the drop-down menu for which guarantee you would like to be reviewed for. For learning outside of the classroom, we offer research opportunities. We are an R1 institution, which means we get public funding to conduct research, and we can also present that research as well. We also offer through our career services department, the internship prep program, which guarantees students an internship at the end of that, or an interview for an internship at the end of that. Life at Pitt, so we understand outside experiences are great too. So there's a lot of things to do and see in the city. We are a Division I school, so we have all of those sports that you see on the screen. We have over 600 student-led organizations, so there's bound to be something that might be an interest to you. With your Pitt ID, you get free access to all of the museums, and you also get discounted prices for tickets and shows around the city. We also offer scholarships for our students as long as you apply before December 1st and you complete either the personal statement or the Common App essay. That means you will be automatically reviewed for merit-based scholarships. So you could get anything from $2,000 to full tuition, depending on your merit and how well-rounded you are. If you apply after that, you will still be reviewed. However, the amount of funds we have are way less, so there's a less of a chance that you might get a scholarship. We also offer Pitt Funds Me, which is a database of scholarships for all of our students. These are just some important deadlines to keep in mind. For example, the most important one, December 1st. So you could apply before then, so you could be automatically reviewed for merit-based scholarships. We are a rolling admission school. We don't have early action or early decision. So that means you have until May 1st to commit to Pitt. And last but not least, this is my contact information, gua8@pitt.edu. That's my direct phone number as well. And that is the website that you can go to where you can find all of the information that I talked about. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you. And just a reminder to all of our participants that you can use that Q&A function to ask questions of any of our schools and panelists at any time. All right. Next up, we have Muhlenberg College.
Great. Thank you, Jenny. Okay. All right. I think that looks good. Hi, everyone. My name is Anna Marie Fahmy, and I'm the Associate Director of Admissions for the West Coast, actually the Western region, so including Colorado of the U.S. For Muhlenberg College. So Muhlenberg, we are a small private liberal arts college in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Allentown is about 90 miles outside of New York City, so that's like an hour and a half drive. Or you can also get there without a car. There's a bus line that has, I think, 12 direct stops a day from Allentown to New York City, and about 60 miles away from Philadelphia, so like an hour drive. So where Allentown is, you have access to these great, amazing East Coast cities. But at the same time, Allentown is not insignificant in size. We're actually Pennsylvania's third largest city. So it goes Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and then Allentown. So Allentown is a city of about 100,000 people. When I first visited Muhlenberg, I stayed in a hotel in downtown Allentown, and it very much feels like an urban setting. I was walking distance to restaurants where I had live music, next to a conference center. I went to an art museum. So you have all the excitingness that comes with an urban setting. But at the same time, about a short 10-minute drive away is where Muhlenberg is, in the suburban part of the city, surrounded by tree-lined streets, old brick homes. I'm from Southern California, so whenever I see brick, it's always very exciting. So definitely get that kind of East Coast experience when you're at Muhlenberg. And also the college is walking distance to a farmer's market that's open Thursday through Saturday that students like to go to, short drive away from an amusement park, also a short drive away from other suburban necessities like Target, Starbucks, the mall, etc. So there's a lot of exciting things to do, and also the greater Lehigh Valley. When I first Muhlenberg, thing also stood out to me were our red doors. So every exterior door on campus is bright red, which you can see in my virtual background behind me, but also in the photo in the bottom left. And this dates back to our founding as a Lutheran school, red doors serving as a sign of welcome. So we like to say at Muhlenberg that we open up the doors. We open up the doors to students to just various backgrounds, regardless of your academic interests or what you're interested in studying, the welcoming community. And even though we are founded as a Lutheran school, we're proud of our religious diversity. About a quarter of our students identify as Jewish, about a quarter Catholic, and then the rest some other Christian denomination or other religions like Muslim. We have a Muslim Student Association, or not religious at all. So again, Muhlenberg is a welcoming place for students. And like I said, too, welcoming in terms of your academic interests. So we're a liberal arts college and really believe in this idea of love of learning and interdisciplinary learning. Our top majors include theater. We're a really good place for theater and the performing arts, but also business, psychology, biology, and politics. That's a list of our most popular majors. But about 30% of our students double major. And I often find that these are really interesting kind of odd combinations that maybe you wouldn't expect at first, like theater and business. That's actually a common combination that I've seen of Muhlenberg students. Also dance and biology. So if you're a student and you love the arts, but maybe you want to go into medical school, or you just love being in the lab, but you're also interested in business and the performing arts, Muhlenberg is a place where you could pursue those various things. We also have some pre-professional programs, education certificate programs, a new accelerated program, 4+1 applied analytics. If you love data, if you love math, if you love computer science, you might find this accelerated graduate program of interest to you. And we also have a variety of academic partnerships as well. 2 of these you would apply for as a high school senior at the time of applying to Muhlenberg. One is with the University of Pennsylvania Dental School, and another is with the SUNY School of Optometry in New York. So if you know you want to be a dentist or an optometrist, let me know afterwards and I can tell you a little bit more about those programs. A couple of new majors or just different unique majors or minors that I want to point out. Sustainability studies is a new major at Muhlenberg. So if you're really interested in, the future of the planet and how humans interact with the environment, you might find that interesting. Documentary story making is something that I think is pretty unique to Muhlenberg. I think in general, just with our focus on performing arts and English and writing, we love storytelling. And creative and professional writing is also a new minor. Outside of the class, students will do a lot of different things at Muhlenberg on and off campus. More than half of our students study abroad. You can do a semester-long program like study dance in Italy or theater in London or business in the Netherlands. We also have some short-term study abroad programs like 1 to 2 weeks long after a class. And one class students went to Bangladesh to study climate change. So a lot of opportunity with that. Students at Muhlenberg also like to think about, what am I going to do after college? How is this college going to prepare me for life, life afterwards? And 87% of graduates at Muhlenberg report being employed, attending graduate school, volunteering, or doing some sort of thing. So students really are with whatever it is that they're passionate about after graduation. And that depends, those students go off and do a lot of different things. One of our alums just actually started a neuroscience PhD program at USC in LA, but she did theater at London. And so she's interested in studying how art can be used as a therapy for people with Parkinson's disease. So again, that combo of art and science. Or there's another alum who did political science at Muhlenberg, and she works as legal counsel at the Dow Jones in Wall Street. So again, politics, finance, also something that's right up our alley. Almost all of our students live on campus for all 4 years with guaranteed housing. We're a small, tight-knit residential community. We're ranked, I realize I'm presenting now with other Pennsylvania schools, but Niche ranked as best college food in Pennsylvania. I'm sure there's great food too at the rest of my colleagues here, but yeah, so definitely great food that you can find at Muhlenberg. We have our dining hall option, but some other quick grab and go options as well. So good place for food. And of course, 22 varsity sports and Division III athletics, and 20 different club or intramural sports as well. And students like to get involved too with different clubs and organizations outside of the classroom, outside of sports, whether it's performing arts or environmental clubs. We have a beekeeping club. We have different identity-based clubs as well. So a lot of things that you can do to hang out with people of similar interests as you. And then lastly, we're on the common application. We do a holistic review of your application. Our process is really student-centered. And so I am your representative for Colorado. So I am here if you have any questions about Muhlenberg as you're going through the application process. You can see our early decision and regular decision deadlines here. We have been test optional since 1996, so for a long time. And we do not require interviews for admission, but they are recommended. We really like to get to know you in the process. So definitely reach out to me if you have any other questions about that. State and merit scholarships as well. 2 things to note are honors program scholarships, which you may be selected for, and talent-based scholarships if you're interested in the arts. So I am at time. I will stop sharing my screen, but thank you for coming to learn about Muhlenberg.
Thank you so much, Muhlenberg College. Up next, we have Penn State.
Hi, everybody. Let me go ahead, get this going. Share. Okay. So hi, let me actually start my timer. My name is Christine Schmidbauer. I'm actually also from Southern California and was also very excited by all of the brick when I first came to Pennsylvania. So that's funny that Anna Marie said that. But I am here to represent Penn State today, which I believe is probably the largest school on the call today. Our biggest campus is about 40,000 students. So we are a large Research One institution located in Pennsylvania, but more specifically, or more broadly, I guess, located throughout Pennsylvania. So something that makes us unique is that we are a 20 campus system, but most people do think of University Park. University Park would be considered our main campus, but it's also our largest campus with 40,000 students. But it's also where we play D1 football most Saturdays in the fall. So we do have a game coming up this Saturday, which is very exciting. But the reason that I share these campuses with you is because when you create your application, you have to choose your first choice campus and your second choice campus. So most people will choose University Park as their first choice campus to be reviewed for. But if it turns out that we can't admit you to University Park, then we will review your application for your second choice campus. So as out-of-state students, most out-of-state students will choose Altoona just because of its proximity to University Park, but several of our other campuses are located in bigger cities, but still provide that Penn State education. So just a couple of things to consider. Now, when I talk about Penn State with its rankings and the environment and everything, I'm talking about all 20 of these campuses. So to share, we are a top 1% world-class university, but I suppose more relevantly, we're actually a top 23 public school. And that is, for all of the reasons that are listed on here with career services, study abroad opportunities, undergraduate research, but primarily because of the quality of academics that we provide our students. So we do have just under 300 programs for students to choose from. So those are broken up into 12 different academic colleges. Now, the academic colleges range from everything from engineering to education to earth and mineral sciences. Majority, I would say Penn State is known as a STEM school. So those are going to be the most demanding programs, but also the most competitive programs. But for your application, you only have to choose one program that you're interested in. So it is common for students to double major or triple minor, but for the application, you only have to choose one. The other thing is that when you apply, it is almost more like you're applying to the academic college rather than the major that you're interested in, unless it's a direct admit major that requires either an audition piece or a more intensive interview process. So for the most part, it's going to be like you're applying to the academic college. Now, beyond that, Penn State does offer about 1,200 clubs and activities for students to get involved in. And these range from athletics to community service to professional development organizations and much more. So we do offer D3 athletics at some of our smaller campuses and then club and intramural athletics at pretty much all of them. So there's a lot of ways to stay healthy and connected to whatever you're currently involved in now at Penn State. The other nice thing about all these different activities is that it's a great way for students to build community at Penn State. So a school as large as Penn State is potentially very intimidating for certain students. And so that's where getting involved in an organization is a great way to make a big school feel smaller. So from there, let's talk about the application. So we do accept it one of three ways. So it will either be through the Common App, which is the most common, the Coalition app, or Penn State's own application. Now, regardless of which you choose, you still have to create a My Penn State profile to fill out the self-reported academic record. And this will operate in place of your official high school transcript. So you'll create your self-reported academic record and just put in the classes that you've taken in high school and the grades that you received, and that will be the primary tool that we will use to make our decision. After that, you have to decide whether or not you would like to supply your test scores. We are currently test optional and will be through the fall of 2023, but a good way to decide whether or not you would like to supply those scores is with our middle 50% of data from last year's applicant pool. So we do usually accept about a 3.56 or higher unweighted GPA. So if you are below that, that's where you might want to supply your SAT or ACT score. But again, it's up to you, and we do rely mostly on your academic record from high school. So another thing to be aware of is if you are on the lower end of that GPA spectrum, you might just have to be flexible with your starting Commonwealth campus. Since they are smaller, they are not quite as competitive as University Park, which receives about 100,000 applications every year. So the Commonwealth campuses are definitely a good place to at least get your foot in the door with Penn State, complete your general education, and then transition to University Park to complete the rest of those core courses for your degree. So the last thing that I want to talk about before I leave is our alumni network. We do have one of the largest living alumni networks in the entire world. So definitely a good return on investment with career networks, community networks, just a great environment to be in when you're trying to get your footing under you in a new place or in a new job. And then the nice thing about being a Penn State alum is that you can still access all of the resources that you had access to as an undergrad. So with that, I'll just share contact information, kschmidbauer@psu.edu or admissions@psu.edu. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And just a reminder to all of our participants that the Q&A is open. So if you have any questions for any of our schools, please feel free to go ahead and put that in the Q&A. And up next, we have Haverford College.
Great, thanks so much, Jenny. And hello, everyone. My name is Kathleen Abels. I'm the Director of Admission at Haverford, also a very proud Haverford alum. And I feel like since we're spending all this time in Zoom land, I like to share a fun fact. I have two rescue dogs. Their names are Granola and Yogurt, and I'm home right now, so you might hear from them at any point over the course of my next 6 minutes. Like many of my colleagues, Haverford is a small liberal arts and sciences college located right outside the city of Philadelphia. About half of our students identify as people of color. We've all 50 states, over 50 non-US countries represented on campus. And one of my favorite stats, there's a 6-to-1 tree to student ratio. So you're surrounded by a lot of natural beauty. In order to build a diverse class, we also are able to meet 100% of all admitted students' demonstrated need. About half of our students receive some sort of Haverford financial aid. And last year, the average financial aid award was just about $52,000 a year. We've talked a little bit about the state of Pennsylvania today, which is wonderful. Philadelphia is an amazing city, the 6th largest city in the United States, the only World Heritage City in the United States, and it's just 3 miles from our campus. There are actually 2 train lines on either side of campus, so you're never more than a 10-minute walk to the train, and then a 15 or 20-minute train ride into Center City, Philadelphia. But when you're walking around campus, you might feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. It's about 200 acres. It's really a stunningly beautiful place, but you get to also be able to hop on a train and get all of the benefits of being part of a major metropolitan city. Wonderful opportunities to call Haverford home in terms of living on campus. 98% of our students live on campus. Over 40% of our faculty members live on campus. And each of these dorm options costs the same amount. So don't want some students to feel like one option is the only one that they could afford. We want you to choose a place where you'll really feel at home. The sort of beauty of being at a place like Haverford is not only having amazing access to resources on our campus, but we're also part of a larger consortium. This is very creatively named the Quaker Consortium. So what this means is our students have opportunities to take courses at Bryn Mawr College and Swarthmore College. And if a class isn't offered at Haverford, Bryn Mawr, or Swarthmore, you can take that at the University of Pennsylvania in any of their 4 undergraduate colleges. Haverford, Bryn Mawr, and Swarthmore also have a really social consortium. They're each cash-free campuses. So you show your Haverford ID and you get in for free at events across those 3 liberal arts campuses. And in the same way, when there's a really awesome speaker or concert or movie screening, there are students from Bryn Mawr and Swarthmore as well. Average class size at Haverford is 14. Every one of our classes is taught by a faculty member who's at the top of their field academically and who's an amazing teacher. And they're at Haverford to combine both of those passions. We also have some dual degree programs which allow our students to graduate with a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science in 4 years, and then in 1 additional year to graduate with a master's in one of these fields shown here. I always like sharing a little bit about our top 10 most popular majors because I think oftentimes students hear liberal arts college and you think, okay, I can major in the arts or the humanities or the social sciences. And that's true, but you also have amazing access to natural science courses at Haverford, and about half of our top 10 most popular majors are in the natural sciences. We're also one of a handful of institutions in the United States to guarantee undergraduate research. So each and every one of our students will do a senior thesis. And I promise we don't throw research at you senior year, right? Instead, it's a part of your entire academic trajectory. At Haverford, we believe every student is capable of doing their own undergraduate research. So we want this to be a culminating moment in your life as a scholar. Life outside the classroom is really rich, just like your life in the classroom. There, like my colleagues, amazing clubs and organizations to be a part of on campus. Our Students Council manages $500,000 US to spread across these 145 clubs and organizations, 23 varsity sports teams, including the #1 ranked varsity cricket team in the United States. It's also the only varsity cricket team in the United States, so we feel like we can make that claim each and every year. Lots of fun traditions. Students really take a lot of pride in being on campus at Haverford. But probably the biggest point of pride for our students is the emphasis on student voice and shared governance. Haverford has one of the oldest and one of the only entirely student-run honor codes in the United States. It's both social and academic in nature. And what it does is it means our students are really treated like colleagues of everyone on campus. In 4 years at Haverford, I never had a proctored exam. Your final exams are self-scheduled, and it really engenders a community that's based on collaboration. Students aren't working to be better than one another. They're truly working to lift one another up. We also make sure our students sit on every college-wide committee, depending on the year, somewhere between 40 and 80 college-wide committees. These committees make decisions through consensus. So you as a student could be sitting next to the provost talking about hiring a new computer science professor, right? Sometimes those are challenging conversations, and we think our students should be in the center of those kinds of conversations, understanding the ways in which the decisions you make not only impact you, but the people and communities around you. And ultimately, our students are really successful in what happens next. Depending on the year, between 90 and 95% of our students are either fully employed in graduate school or doing a year-long fellowship within 6 months of graduation. About 70% of students will complete a graduate degree within 5 years of graduating from Haverford. We have 95% acceptance rate to medical school. That's an average of the last 5 years. But beyond those statistics, we truly think that a Haverford education allows our students to get sort of 3 experiences that are shared amongst them. First, you're going to get a great liberal arts experience. You're going to get a great liberal arts education, learning to think critically and analyze thoroughly and communicate effectively. You'll get a great education rooted in research, and you'll also get an education in what it means to be an ethical leader. And whatever you do, those are the experiences that allow you to continue to shape communities you're a part of. Looking forward to your questions. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Haverford College. And all of our schools will be putting their contact information in the chat. So if you do have further questions, you can always contact them that way or via the Q&A. Up next, we have Dickinson College.
Well, thanks very much. I'm excited to talk with you all and tell you a bit about Dickinson. So Dickinson is a small liberal arts college located in Pennsylvania. I've heard that somewhere before. We are the 16th oldest college in the United States. The place has a really extraordinary history. Our charter was signed a few days after the Treaty of Paris was signed. So great history to the campus, and then like the only platinum LEED certified residence hall in Pennsylvania. So really historic campus with some really modern, wonderful facilities. A few notes here about where our students come from. We have about 2,300 students who are from around the country and around the world. They come together in a really close ratio, close working relationship with our faculty, 8-to-1 student faculty ratio. Our average class size is 14, but 80% of our classes are under 20, every class under 50. And that really leads to a lot of mentoring by faculty. It leads students to those hands-on experiences that are so powerful, like internships, which we guarantee for every student, research field experiences. We want to see students do those kinds of hands-on experiences. we jump to academic majors, and I hope you can see most of these. Oh, let me go back one. So what you see in red are our majors, but the combination of majors and minors and certificate programs is where we see most of our students combining their interests. About half of our majors are interdisciplinary, so those majors themselves blend multiple interests, and that works beautifully for our students. Largest major on our campus, international business and management. The rest of a top half dozen list would include biology, psychology, English, history, political science. Neuroscience is our fastest growing major. I'd say one thing that's really notable here too, if you combine all of the global programs, international business and management, international studies, security studies, foreign languages, you'd be looking at about 30% of our student body. So that's a really popular cluster of programs. And it's a really popular experience for our students to have. So we see about 2/3 of our students studying abroad, including, take note of those percentages at the bottom of the screen. Science majors, varsity athletes, students of color are some of the students nationally that we see study abroad less often. At Dickinson, they study abroad very often. These pinned D programs are our own programs run by Dickinson faculty and staff who can be mentors not only in the academic and cultural experience that students are having, but also internship opportunities, research opportunities while studying abroad, really phenomenal opportunities. And a really powerful, let me go back, really powerful commitment to global education in terms of the global content in courses on our own home campus too. So that's an important thing to know about Dickinson. Also important, huge commitment to sustainability. We have been named, you can kind of see it behind all of our little heads there on the screen, but the Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education has named Dickinson, let's see, we've been named #1, #2, most sustainable college in the United States. And up here at the top, you can see that in 2020, Earth Day 2020, we announced that we had achieved carbon neutrality on our campus. Sustainability is also something that is blended into the entire curriculum. 39 of our 46 departments currently this semester offer a sustainability related course. So this is curriculum wide, huge focus for us. We have this magnificent 180-acre organic farm and just a, absolutely magnificent space for students to experience sustainability and to live it. Here's a note about our location. So we're located in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. It's a small town, about 20,000 people, but a suburb of the state capital. So it's not a remote small town, but it's got a really nice, wonderful small town vibe. We're in a gorgeous area, hiking, biking. Like we're in a town where there are bike lanes on all of the streets, and the hiking in the area is absolutely magnificent. Our outing club will plan a trip every Saturday, every Sunday. So there are always things like that to do, but we're also in this really cute kind of foodie little town. There are about 30 restaurants in a 3-block radius of our campus, and none of them are chains. Like within about a mile of campus, you can get to your Chipotle and Starbucks and Panera, whatever else you're craving, but a really cool, vibrant, local downtown, fantastic farmers market that our students participate in a lot. It's really it's a wonderful location. Here's a note about what our grads are doing, and they do really, really well. So that it's covered up a little bit, but up there in that top right corner, sorry, is 93% of our students will have hands-on experiences like internships and research and field work. And down in that bottom left corner, it's 96% of our students who are employed in grad school and professional fellowships. We really are so dedicated to making sure that our students are successful after graduation, that they have the opportunities that they need. And in a small college environment, there's an opportunity for the kind of advising and mentoring by faculty that really helps students to achieve as much as possible. And that's our goal. Down at the bottom, you can see we have a 94% acceptance rate into law school, 95% for med school. So whatever route our students take, we take such pride in their achievements, and the mentoring by faculty in particular on our campus is really powerful. Okay, quick note about the admission process. We've been test optional since 1994 and are now test free. We use the Common Application. You can see notes here about our deadlines, and I'm going to slide our heads over so that you can see the scholarship information. Between need-based aid and merit scholarships, we meet 100% of the financial need of every single student that we admit. I've loved talking with you. I'd love to talk with you some more. Thanks, everybody. And thanks, Jenny.
Thank you, Angela. We appreciate it. And we will have some time for more questions at the end, but of course, you can always use that Q&A function right now. Up next, we have Gettysburg College.
All right. Hi, everybody. Nice to be here with all of you. My name is Tyra Riedemann. I am the regional rep for Colorado, as well as some parts of New York State at Gettysburg College. I graduated from Gettysburg last year, class of 2020. So I'm excited to speak with you all about my alma mater. So a little bit about Gettysburg. We are a school of the liberal arts and sciences. We're located in a very historic town and place of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. So with that sense of historical significance, there are lots of visitors that come to our town. So with that brings lots of restaurants, boutiques, movie theaters, and things like that our students get to partake in on weeknights and weekends, which is great. But we're also close to some large cities. So we are about 4 hours away from New York City, which is my hometown. We're about 2.5 hours away from Philadelphia, 80 minutes from Washington, D.C., where one of our higher impact programs has an office there. And I'll get into that a little bit later on in the presentation. And then we're about 45 minutes away from Baltimore, Maryland, right? So your professors will plan trips for you and your classmates to kind of see real world examples of what you're learning about in the classroom, in these textbooks, things like that, to some of these larger cities. We are a student body of about 2,600 students on campus, give or take, each year. And our students come from 40 states and 40 countries. And I noticed in my own personal experience as a student that, you know, that sense of diversity and diverse perspectives really bled into the classroom experience I had as a student at Gettysburg. And we are a residential college, so we are guaranteed housing for all 4 years on campus. And because you get to live on campus, you get to participate and join our over 120 clubs and student-led organizations right away, right? So our students are very active members of the community. They take on leadership roles, which there are over 1,000 on campus for them to partake in. But just those different things of really forming and joining the campus community. And you're also joining a town community. And I think one thing that is really makes that evident is one of our annual traditions called the First Year Walk, where students make the same walk that students who were here when Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address here, they walk that exact same route. So kind of the footsteps of history. But the people who own restaurants and businesses in town will be there welcoming you into the town community, as well as upperclassmen on campus, which is awesome. So a little bit about our academics. We have over 65 majors for students to declare, and you have until the end of your sophomore year to do so, right? So if you know exactly what you want to major in, awesome. You can declare that as soon as your first week or year on campus. If you have a variety of different academic interests, that's okay. You know, take all 2 years to really explore classes in a variety of different academic disciplines and decide where your academic passions lie, and then declare it at the end of your sophomore year. Some of our students double major. So last year, about 20% of the graduating class graduated with double majors, right? And so we are really strong in the humanities and in the arts, but also in the STEM field. So if there are any of you who are really interested in conducting research, we have one of our programs. It's called XSIG, stands for the Cross-Disciplinary Science Institute at Gettysburg. And that is a summer program for Gettysburg College students where they can conduct fully funded research of their choosing, right, for 2 months alongside a Gettysburg faculty member. So just things like that to get those hands-on experiences in the lab outside of the classroom. We also have some higher impact programs, such as the Eisenhower Institute. So if you're really into public policy and political science, that is a great kind of organization for you to join and programming for you to be a part of. One of the programs is led by Susan Eisenhower, who was President Eisenhower's great-granddaughter. So, you know, just ways for you to get involved and get some hands-on experience and things that you hope to have a career in, which is great. Students can also have the opportunity to study abroad. So although we are a 4-year residential campus, if students decide that they want to have that abroad experience, we can help them out with that. We have our Center for Global Education and over 100 affiliate study abroad programs. And so we also provide students who choose to go abroad with a full flight stipend, because we know round trip tickets are not cheap. We also have a music conservatory. So if there are any of you who are really into music, maybe you want to major in music, or you're like, I don't want to major, but I want to continue playing my instrument or continue singing, right? You can participate in our different choral groups, our orchestras, our ensembles, or even our marching band. And we're the only school in our athletic conference that has a marching band. We are D3 division school. So, students who are interested in playing at the collegiate level can do so, but we also have intramural sports as well. And then a little bit about outcomes. So since a large reason why you are choosing to go to college is to build an academic and a foundational skill set and base for your future career, we have our Center for Career Engagement that helps students figure out internships, job shadowing opportunities with our 30,000 plus alumni who are active professionals. 98% of our students are at least in graduate school or fully employed within a year after graduation, and 80% of students have had at least one internship throughout their 4 years on campus. And on the right are just some new things to Gettysburg, some new academic majors and programs and things like that. And then here's a little information about what the application process is for us. So we look at the common application. We have early decision and regular decision. And then here's a look at some of our scholarships, which are merit scholarships, which range from $20,000 to $35,000. And then our application-based scholarship, which is the Eisenhower Scholarship that awards recipients with $40,000 per year. So here is just a little bit of information if you would like to reach out. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And we have a little bit of time. We'll probably have about 30 to 40 seconds each to answer a question here. And so the question that I'll pose to everyone is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? So I know it's not a lot of time, but we'll start with our first school, University of Pittsburgh, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so my advice would be not to follow, that's my dog's advice. I would just don't follow friends or like a boyfriend or girlfriend or something like that. Really find that place that really sticks out to you, where you think, like if you get a chance to visit, go visit. And if it feels right, then that's definitely the right place for you. But do your research and definitely go something that has your passion, where you can follow that. So yeah, that'd be my advice.
I didn't do this when I was in high school, but I do it now for work. Is if your email gets really cluttered, which if you're in high school and colleges are emailing you, I'm gonna bet it is. Have some folders, like put your emails into folders, maybe like by college or by maybe like your interest level or something. That way you can just maybe stay a little sane when you open up your email inbox and can actually find what you're looking for.
My advice is to fill out the FAFSA as early as possible. I believe it opens tomorrow. So if there are any seniors that are watching or that will be watching this back, fill it out tomorrow, fill it out Saturday or Sunday, do it like as soon as it opens, just to give yourself the best chance to be considered for any type of student aid that's available.
Yeah, those are all great pieces. I feel like one of the saddest pieces of this process is when students think that an admission decision is a reflection of their value, and that couldn't be further from the truth. So you are valuable and wonderful, and you'll find a wonderful spot regardless of the myriad of decisions that you receive.
This is all wonderful advice. And I had popped mine into the chat about very much like what Guillermo said. I think keeping the focus on the student, making this not about what other people think, but really considering carefully where you are thriving and what opportunities and challenges would be really great for you, and then finding an environment where that can happen. Your college should be your launch pad. That's what we all want for you. We want this to be a transformative experience, and that will happen when you keep the focus really on yourself as a student, and parents, school counselors, everyone else in the process, working with the student, keeping the focus on the student.
I agree with what everyone before me has said, but I would just like to add, it is great if you're connecting with the regional counselor, the regional rep at whatever colleges you are looking at, but also see in what ways you can connect with a current student. I think that was really helpful to me in my college search process, just to hear the experience of the current students at each institution I was looking at, and just getting their honest answers, right? Their authentic experience, both good and bad. What would they change, right? What would they improve about their institutions? So I think if there's any way for you to connect with a current student, reach out to the admissions rep and maybe ask them, hey, is there a student who works in your office, or is there a student who's maybe from your area who goes to the institution that you can email with, or set up a quick Zoom meeting with? That's something I would recommend you all do.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all of our participants today and all of our panelists. And again, just thank you so much for being here. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. So we'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide. And we encourage you to check back to the schedule. We have more sessions coming up tonight. You'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all the other sessions recordings at strivescan.com/greaterdenver. Thank you so much and have a great evening.